6 words, I would describe myself as loyal, interested. I'm Lisa O'Neill, and I live on the Upper West Side. I'm freezing up. Anybody have a word for me?
What word?
To describe myself.
Number loving.
What?
Numbers loving. Loving numbers.
Oh, yes. Quantitative.
Okay.
Assertive.
Bossy.
Okay, so let's do it again.
Before I came to SVA, I think I viewed design as more compartmentalized, oriented towards the disciplines of architecture and interior design. And now I have a much more, I think, holistic view of design. I realized that everything around us was designed by someone. The most fun moment of the program was AJ's podcast on robot boobs. Spectacular. My favorite reading from this year wasn't a book. It was rereading something that I'd read before. Frank Sinatra Has a Cult by Gay Talese. It's just been a really great experience. I think the 7 of us have really, in addition to just getting along and I think genuinely liking each other, have really had a really good sort of intellectual experience being in the room together every time we've had a class or a discussion about anything. Thank you. My thesis examines metaconsumption, and you may be wondering what I mean by that term. I define it as the consumption of objects that are designed solely to be used by other objects. For example, the sleeve you put around your coffee cup, the coasters you rest your drinks on, the coasters you rest your drinks on, the storage containers and hangers in your closet, even the entire closet itself. These are all objects that have nothing to do without the objects they were designed to serve. I also define it to include consuming content about the act of consuming. For example, what I call closet porn. Instagram alone has over 2 million aspirational images tagged closet. Lifestyle brands like Goop have their own best practices and related products to sell, and there are numerous TV shows and books to guide the consumer to better living through metaconsumption. Which leads me to my research question. How have the objects we use to store our possessions come to rival the importance of the possessions themselves? To illustrate the magnitude of the issue, the home organization industry in the US separated consumers from $16 billion last year, and that amount is growing. The top industry trends are decluttering, specifically the KonMari method, which I will discuss in depth, custom closets, and the decor aspects of storage. My research has looked at this from 4 angles. Products include retailers like the Container Store, the industry leader. Its sales reflect those trends I mentioned earlier. Its custom closet line is its highest revenue product with a $10,000 average ticket. Services are sold independently of products through trade associations like the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals and KonMari Consultants. Built environment solutions are designed and installed by companies and interior designers. And technology includes e-tail and home design platforms and social media. I argue that the consumer has been primed for metaconsumption by several factors. Consumer culture has allowed us to amass lots of stuff cheaply, and online shopping makes acquiring it mindlessly simple. Social media has inverted formerly private realms like the closet into image-conscious public sphere. Also, the demonization of household clutter and its association with the mental illness hoarding has further incentivized consumers to declutter. Oprah first covered hoarding as a topic in 2004, and by 2007, the show was running multi-episode installments. A&E debuted the series Hoarders in 2009, and in 2011, the best-selling book Stuff offered a clinical yet accessible analysis of the disorder. In 2013, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the American Psychiatric Association's tool for categorizing and diagnosing mental illness, published its 5th edition. For the first time, hoarding was classified as a distinct mental illness, a change widely reported in mainstream media. Previously, it had been a variant of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Into this landscape stepped Marie Kondo and her trademarked Cone Marie decluttering method with her 2012 best-selling book. A second bestseller followed in 2016, and in February, Netflix announced that it had ordered a reality series featuring her and her method. The Cone Marie system is a multi-step approach to what its brand embodiment Marie Kondo calls tidying. Her 4 books have sold over 5 million copies in the US, and a 5th has been announced. The system relies on a ritualistic, multi-step, rigidly categorized process of touching, examining, and sorting every single object in one's home, and the practitioner has failed unless the entire process is complete. The method focuses primarily on one's emotions and feelings as an indicator of an object's worthiness for keeping. For example, in Spark Joy, her second book, the reader is ordered to collect all of the electronic cables in the house and, I quote here, pick each one up to check for joy. Kondo has over 500,000 Instagram followers, as well as an online training platform and a seminar-based certification process, so that one can hire an expert on the method if achieving all of that joy is elusive on one's own. Irving Goffman's work on the presentation of self has been an important reference point for my research. And in the Cone Marie case study, his observations about what he calls mystical training seem particularly relevant. The system certification requires the in-person seminar. This year, there were just 2 of these in the US. The admission criteria are photographs of the applicant's closets and drawers, though there is no published criteria or seminar agenda for certification. In contrast, the NAPO's process is itself accredited and similar to those for professionals like project managers and financial advisors. It includes extensive examination and compliance requirements, as well as a code of ethics. The NAPO has not, however, published any best-selling books or announced a TV show. The more I learned about the Cone Marie system and the envelope of marketing around it, the more it seemed familiar. In my career as a management consultant, I spent 2 years with an Omnicom healthcare agency working with direct-to-consumer, or DTC, pharmaceutical advertisers. Cone Marie and its messaging work in a very similar way to how drugs are marketed to consumers. There are 4 key components of a DTC marketing program. The first is connect awareness of symptoms with an illness. The drug must be proven to be an effective antidote to the illness, typically with patient testimonials or celebrity endorsements. Conversion strategies connect patients with an actual prescription, and adherence guarantees a revenue stream by the patient taking the medication as prescribed over time. For example, this TV ad for the Murbitrek campaign, the symptoms of overactive bladder are discussed. Effectiveness is conveyed by clinical data and online patient testimonials. A conversation guide helps the patient talk to a doctor to get a script, and a physician referral program connects patients needing a doctor. Adherence is reinforced through an online patient forum and a long-term discount plan. The Cone Marie system is structured similarly, beginning with the trademark of the brand name. In 2012, the brand did not need to do much to generate awareness around consumption-based anxiety, but the first book's jacket and surrounding media campaigns underscored the anxiety around decluttering. Effectiveness was conveyed via the title, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It is underscored in the book with client success anecdotes by how its by now celebrity spokesperson Marie Kondo. The brand website and social media accounts visually telegraph effectiveness with happy client testimonials. Here's some Cone Marie branded closet porn from Instagram. Conversion is reinforced through the follow-up books, the online course, complex social media cross-marketing, and that growing network of certified consultants. Presumably the Netflix show will convert tens of thousands more to the method. Tidying maintenance practices outlined in the books promote adherence, and as do encouraging vignettes and pithy inspirational quotes. Perhaps not surprisingly, I found that professional organizers have strong opinions about this. One told me that she has turned down jobs because she felt that clients were not emotionally able to go through a decluttering process. This is a scenario the Cone Marie method does not accommodate, which underscores one of the paradoxes of this system. It prescribes a rigid, perhaps even obsessive or compulsive method of interacting with one's possessions, while simultaneously capitalizing on an external symptom of a mental illness. And by focusing on the user's feelings rather than consumption, the method like most pharmaceuticals, promises relief of symptoms rather than an actual cure. Another capitalist paradox is the lack of companion certified organizing products, which were in fact prohibited in the first book. Instead, practitioners are told to reuse shoeboxes or other containers they already have, and Kondo even called storage purveyors themselves hoarders. Perhaps that approach has proven to have limited utility on visually oriented social media. The brand recently announced an official collaboration with California Closets. So, if you find yourself addicted to closet porn, or obsessing about your possessions, or contemplating a large expenditure to ease anxiety about your stuff, maybe take a moment and consider what is really going on. Ask yourself, is the problem really my stuff? And if so, is the solution more stuff or more time thinking about my stuff? Assuming that you're not among the 1.5% of the population that potentially actually has hoarding disorder, perhaps a better antidote would be a self-help book titled, I Don't Need That, or a Don't Buy Crap app. On the other hand, you could always use one of the two rather more drastic but proven methods of decluttering. You could move or die.